Hello, I'm Freelander. Welcome to the game Trove. Today we are taking a look at Army of Tactics, part of the Army of Fortune metaverse, and their Demigod release. So we'll take a look at this, and then I'll share my thoughts on this update. Yeah, so we got the Summon portal here. We got the Crystal Forge. Those are the two new buildings. So pre-sale people were able to get some of the jewelry needed to craft crystals, and go from here. If you haven't, do take a look at that. I was just kind of taking everything in. This is my first time seeing all this when I recorded this on my phone yesterday. Okay, so I got a crystal. So summon demigod. So there's different levels of crystal that you can get. Island 4 is level 2. Island 3 is level 1. And then there's more. I didn't go through like all of that. Maybe I'll do that real quick while we're checking this out. So and then it's not entirely clear what to do at this point. So so it took me a little bit to go. Am I waiting? Is it a loading screen? What's going on? So that was a bit of a hiccup. They could probably do a better job of that. Let me see. Nope. Yeah. Oh, it just has 3 levels of crystal right now. Okay, so this is important. In the Demigod Summon, you can 3 levels of crystal right now. Anyway, you can spend your crystals after activating your crystal. Head to the battle for a chance to win the ultimate prize, a Demigod. Successful after battle is the success after a battle is Island 3, 0.1%, and Island 4, 1%. If it follows that pattern, it'll be 10% on Island 5. Not sure if it'll follow that exact pattern, but at least it will be more. So keep that in mind. That's a little tidbit, little cheat code for those of you who are still wanting to grind. I'm actually just grinding for badges and some jewelry, though there might be more jewelry on Island 5 that I want to grind for at that point. So mainly just badges so that I can do jewelry and craft crystals faster on Island 5 when it comes out. I wasn't necessarily going to share that, but that's kind of my working thesis right now, because of 1% that take 100 times, and Blick and Frog are cool, but that's a lot of my AFC bag at this point. So that's my plan, is to wait for a higher percentage from Island 5, and just save my dry powder for then. And maybe some other demigods too. I do want Frog Pikeman as a demigod. I'd rather have a higher tier than common, but yeah, if they come out with a clan feature, I'll probably just mark it by a demigod at that point, depending on I do have a budget, so but yeah, that'll be my game plan going forward. So now we need to talk about whether this update made the game better or not. That is the big question, and how much it made it better. So it gives more of a incentive to grind. There's only 200 right now. Yes, the supply is going way up, but that's as they launch new games, as different publishers and stuff come out with games under the banner of Army of Fortune, AOF verse. And so it's going to take a while for there to be more of these. So Blick and Frog are very iconic in the world of TikTok, when they turn on those faucets, the hope is that we'll have a flood of players and they will want those. The IP is strong, like really strong, stronger than most in Web3. The problem is, and then yeah. So this is a battle. I actually lost. Dude, well, I probably would have lost anyway. Let's be real. But I wasn't playing very well anyway. But I lost to it due to a glitch. Wasn't able to finish the battle. So anyway, so my thinking on whether it's a good. I do think it marginally improves the game. I think that that common demigods aren't necessarily the best, but they're not. But they're common. It's a lot of grinding for them at this level, especially while the top tier players are on this island. But here's my thinking: they're still laying groundwork. I know it's been a long time. I know that, but they also listened to us, and they did. According to the devs, they vastly improved the Blick targeting tombstones glitch. So by 80%, so it shouldn't really impact battles as much anymore. So they did listen to us, and I think they took dev time from what they were doing in the big update to make that small change in the meantime. I do think a bigger update is coming with a lot of changes. That's my hope. That they're working full steam on that build of the game, and working on this build of the game is I mean things like this are highly transferable and stuff, but like game itself fixes, I think there's going to be such a new build that that editing this one is taking dev time versus adding. It's kind of a detour, but they took the detour. They listened to the community on that one. I think the community is very grumpy about price, and maybe rightly so. I think that the last few months haven't gone well for the project. But let's look at the good things about the project that we hope will come to fruition. None of this is financial advice. I think it's kind of middle ground. I mean, it's kind of peak FUD, so this might be floor prices. I mean, maybe with more unlocks, it could drive the price down lower. But the people that have sold are kind of selling now, and over the next day or two, probably. And then we're probably at basement prices. So could it go down to zero? Yes, it could. It could definitely go down to zero if they close up shop. I think doubtful, considering they're backed by Animoca Brands as their main funder. Animoca, number one, picks well, and number two, they want what they pick to succeed. They have a literally vested interest in succeeding. Number two, Blick and Frog having so many followers, and those faucets haven't been turned on. They let a little bit, they kind of hinted with some videos for Blick and Frog to are playing Army of Tactics, but they didn't really full on like market through those channels. So I'm hoping for that with global launch. I'm hoping for at least Island 5, Island 6, a couple islands would be amazing. And then at the same time that they do that, I think they should be doing sneak peeks of Army of Fortune, the game, because Army of Tactics is a test game. They didn't mean for it to be this huge, great thing. They were testing their tech, and then they're like, well, we can make something of this. And so that's where we are at with that. So yeah, there's things that could be improved, but overall, I still think that that if they manage to hit Army of Fortune and the global launch of Army of Tactics really really well, we could pull up and start trending in the right direction, and by this fall, really really have good things going for us. So that's my opinion. Like I said, I think the Demigod feature will be much much better when it's like 10% versus 1% on this island, but that's intentional. They're laying the economy of a multi-game system, so that they don't just want to give away the stuff at too low of island levels, and we are at low island levels. Island 4 is not a high island level, so still things I can't say about that, but yeah, so lots of good to come. If we can, if we can, like, not even hype in Web3. Like Web3, yes, it's good to have hype in Web3, but if suddenly we have a ton of actual users playing, spending AFC without and earning AFC without knowing they can withdraw, but that feature is there if they look for it. Like, that's the golden ticket right there. So I do think the improvements to the game are being made. Now I'm a broken record, but that's okay. I think this video is important to make. I think that the sentiment is like all-time lows. Even stalwart, players of the project are kind of struggling right now. So we're at kind of peak FUD. So, and that's a good. If the project survives, that's a good time to buy, in my opinion. So that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too monotonous, and I'll catch you all later. Freelander.